Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video, and Steam is running a lot of great deals right now, and we're gonna highlight some of those deals available directly on Steam. So I know some of you guys like to do all your shopping in-house on Steam, and I got you covered in this video. We're gonna be highlighting some of those deals under $10. A lot of good stuff. Let's get right into it. Your favorite developer just dropped a new game, Dragon Age The Veilguard. Obviously, I'm joking a little bit, but want to go back to the heyday of BioWare, where BioWare was perceived to be at their peak? Mass Effect Legendary Edition is on sale for $8.99. Man, what a great deal this is for Mass Effect 1, Mass Effect 2, and Mass Effect 3. You know, the general consensus with these games, I agree with. Mass Effect 1 is a good game. It does absolutely show its age. They tried to do what they can to try to bring it up a level for this Legendary Edition, but you know, still the weakest of the three games from a, you know, as far as it being dated. Mass Effect 2, in my opinion, is legitimately one of the greatest video games ever created. I legitimately think that highly of Mass Effect 2. I've completed the game an absurd number of times. It is just absolutely tremendous. And Mass Effect 3 is really good if you can get past the ending. Like, Mass Effect 3 fundamentally is a well-made game and a really, you know, until the end, it's a really, really well-done game, and I get that a lot of people think they fumbled the bag at the ending, but it's still very much worth playing, and, you know, they did what they could to revitalize it a little bit, and for $8.99, all three of those games, I mean, that's a no-brainer. So definitely would recommend you to check that out. You know, I wish that BioWare, y'all did no EA account linking required for Dragon Age Veilguard. How about you go back and remove that from Mass Effect Legendary Edition as well? Because I think people would be incredibly excited. Maybe it's a case of you can get away with that with Mass Effect Legendary Edition. You probably can't get away with that with Dragon Age The Veilguard. But, you know, it is what it is. But certainly check that out. $8.99 for that is quite good. Next up, Devil May Cry 5 is down to $9.89. It's DMC5. It's a great action game that I highly recommend. Soundtrack is absolutely phenomenal. Devil Trigger is still one of the goated action game theme songs. I know, what a generic take, but game is great. I've always said from a narrative standpoint, Devil May Cry does absolutely nothing for me, but from a gameplay standpoint, I think it's absolutely stellar and an absolute blast to play. So for $9.89, this is an excellent deal as well. Next up, Metro Saga Bundle. This is one of those absolutely insane deals that absolutely needs to be picked up by those of you that don't own Metro. And you know what? A lot of you guys probably own Metro 2033 and Metro Last Light. Metro Exodus was initially an Epic Games Store exclusive, so some of you guys might be missing that from your library. If you're missing Metro Exodus, that is a standalone pickup at $2.99 for the base game, or $3.99 for the Gold Edition is also absolutely nuts. The Saga Bundle for $6.96 has you save $3 as well. Really, if you look at it from the standpoint of buying the Metro Exodus Gold Edition, Metro 2033, and Last Light, you're saving only $1. But if you were to buy the Metro Exodus Expansion Pass separately, it is $3. That's how they get that, you know, save $3 number. But I digress. This is a phenomenal deal on some great atmospheric single-player FPSs, so definitely check those out. Next up, a lot of talk about Monster Hunter. I've been pretty down on Monster Hunter Wilds' performance, but Monster Hunter World is still very much a game you should circle back to and play if you haven't. It is a very well-done game, and Capcom did a tremendous job of keeping this game updated. This game also had some issues at launch. I don't know if you guys remember, back in, what was it, 2018? August of 2018, I want to say? Yeah, August of 2018, it had its issues, but at this point it works fairly well, and it's a enjoyable game. Obviously, you gotta be into the Monster Hunter gameplay loop, which isn't for everyone, but if you want some high-octane boss battles, that's certainly here in Monster Hunter World. And you can get the Iceborne Master Edition for only $16. Not a bad deal there. That gets you World and the expansion of Iceborne. That's a pretty solid pickup as well. Next up, we got Dying Light Enhanced Edition, 70% off for $8.99. Another one of those games that is so easy to recommend. Techland did a phenomenal job with this game when it came out back in January of 2015. So yes, we are inching very close to a decade of this game being out, which is, oh my goodness, that is wild to think about. But Dying Light is a fantastic game, and the performance of this game is ridiculous. You want to talk about Monster Hunter Wilds being pretty trash as far as performance goes? Dying Light was one of those games that just performed performed tremendously. And Saber Interactive, the porting studio, figured out a way to get this game on Nintendo Switch. I believe it was Saber, but Techland did a phenomenal job as far as performance in this game goes, and that parlayed into the game being playable on the Switch, which is insane. It doesn't look great on the Switch, but it is what it is. Performance is great, and on top of that, you've got the game is obviously Steam Deck verified. Bro, if it can run on the Nintendo Switch, you're damn right it can run on the effing Steam Deck. But yeah, $9 for that is great. Dying Light 2 is on sale as well. Let me actually pull up Dying Light 2's price right now. What's it at? $28, a little bit too pricey for my liking. I would say wait for that to get to like $14.99 and $19.99. That would be a great pickup for Dying Light 2, but I think Dying Light 1's the superior game. I like Dying Light 2 as well, but had its shortcomings, but nevertheless, $9 for Dying Light 1, great deal there. Next up, we got Marvel's Midnight Suns, 85% off for $9. This is a great deal on a game that was fairly underrated. This was actually done by Firaxis, the same people that brought you XCOM, and from a tactics gameplay standpoint, it's fairly well done. It's got a card game gimmick onto it as well, which I don't know if that was completely necessary, but it's a well-done game. I'm not a big Marvel guy, so it's not like the thematics of Marvel just drew me into the game. I do like Firaxis, and I really enjoyed XCOM, but yeah, for $9, I think this is a pretty good buy. They do have the other editions on sale as well. And speaking of XCOM, XCOM 2 The Collection, 94% off for $7.80. Phenomenal deal on XCOM 2. I have often said I do not care for tactics games whatsoever, but I played XCOM Enemy Unknown one summer break over when I was in high school, and I absolutely loved XCOM Enemy Unknown, so I got very excited for XCOM 2. Unfortunately, at launch, this game had some issues from a technical standpoint. Thankfully, a lot of that has been remedied, but XCOM 2 is quite good, and even if you're not the biggest tactics fan, I would say give this game a shot. Rewarding gameplay can be pretty challenging as well, but a rewarding game nonetheless, and the collection gets you the DLC, the expansion, which is quite notable and quite expansive as well. So that for $7.80, no-brainer there. Next up, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, 80% off for $7.99. You guys know how I feel about the Star Wars Jedi games. Jedi Survivor, if it was a good PC version, would legitimately probably have been my 2023 game of the year, but yes, it was arguably the worst PC port of all time, so that was a little bit of an issue. But Jedi Fallen Order is absolutely, if you're trying to get into the franchise, you should start with Fallen Order. Yes, it has some of the worst map design I've ever seen in a video game, but gameplay-wise, it's really good, story's really good, and it's the introduction to Cal as a character, so, you know, he's a great character, and hopefully he has a satisfying conclusion with the third game, and, you know, I'm sure some people will be shedding tears, but nevertheless, Fallen Order, very much worth playing. Another game that can be pretty challenging, but pretty well done from the platforming, the combat. The puzzles didn't blow me away, but, you know, it is what it is. I tend to just hate puzzles in video games, so I'm not really the guy to break down puzzles in gaming. But $7.99 for that, quite good. Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, for the two of you that don't own it, the base game is $9.99. You should just pick up the complete edition for $12.49. It's Witcher 3, you guys. There can't be, at this point, anybody that watches my videos and doesn't own Witcher 3, but I'm sure, like, there is. Just go buy it. I don't gotta sell you on it. I legitimately think it's one of the greatest single-player video games of all time, and if you want to assess a single-player RPG, this game excels in literally damn near every category. The visuals, the story, the world, the content, which I feel like the majority of the content, even the frying pan side quest, is meaningful and adds depth to the world, which is what you want out of content in an open-world RPG like this. I know some people are a little bit mixed on the combat. I like the combat. I think the combat has depth to it. Some of my boys weren't as crazy about it, but you know, I think most people will end up enjoying it. Nevertheless, it's so good. Even if the combat is a 0 out of 10, and it's not a 0 out of 10, but if in a hypothetical world you perceive it to be a 0 out of 10, the other elements are so good that the game is still great, but the combat isn't a 0 out of 10 in my opinion. So yeah, there you go with that. $9.99, but $12.49 is really what you should look at for the complete edition. Control Ultimate Edition, $7.99. I absolutely love this game. I often say that it's Remedy's best game in my opinion. I wasn't that crazy about Alan Wake 2, but I thought Control was awesome from a gameplay standpoint. Yes, the narrative is a little bit wild, and that's generally the case with Remedy games, but yeah, really well done game, and can't wait for Control 2 in 2036. So, yeah, I will not. I mean, I'll probably give FBC a chance, but let's be real. That game isn't what I want out of Remedy. Next up, we got Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown, 84% off for $9.59. A great action flight title. And Ace Combat is a franchise. I want to say it's underrated, but we got 7 games, and I think there's spin-offs and things like that. There's been a lot of Ace Combat titles, and I'm sure it'll get an 8th game. Ace Combat 7 is really good. Action flight gameplay is great. Another title that the gameplay is great. Narrative doesn't do anything for me, but the soundtrack is also awesome. A super underrated soundtrack in Ace Combat as well. So $9.59 for that is quite good. And lastly, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, 75% off for $9.99. Great deal for Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. An excellent action Metroidvania. Great soundtrack. Solid gameplay, and yeah, if you're into Metroidvanias, you'll like it quite a bit. But that is going to do it for me. Again, a lot of great deals under the price of $9.99 right now. Go check them out. Links in the description box below. But that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.